Welcome back. You're still watching Nile Cruise with Ronald Assas and myself, Muhammad Abdurrahim from the Giza Zoo. Um, Time now to introduce you our first guest. She is Dr. Wafaa Bebewi, Capacity Building and Public Awareness Program staff member, and also a senior veterinarian at the quarantine of Cairo Airport, a wildlife expert. Thank you very much, Dr. Wafaa, for joining us on Nile Cruise. Thank you.
Dr. Wafaa, it's a pleasure to have you with us in today's episode of Nile Cruise. And we start off by asking you a very important question, which is, could you tell us more about the history of the establishment of the Egyptian Zoo, of course, one of the oldest in Egypt and the Middle East, and how it was at the beginning when it started?
Okay. As we know, this garden was one of Khedive Ismail properties. Okay. He had many royal palaces here and there. Okay. It started as botanical garden, actually, not zoological garden, with 50 acres area. This botanical garden was unique because he brought trees from everywhere, from tropical areas, from equators, from India, from South America. Later, that was about 1860s or 1870s. Okay, our surrounding mountains were inside the botanical garden before it becomes a zoological one. On 1890, there were another Khedive decree declared to construct zoological garden. It lasts 1 year until 1891 for the inauguration of the zoological garden. It started with director called Mr. Brimley. Later, it was expanded through certain milestones. It started with a huge number of mammals, birds, reptiles. It was also of the property of Khedive Ismail. Okay, it was from Africa, also from Asia. Egypt weather helped that time to find places for these animals because it was so easy for them to find what's so-called yard and the housing for these animals for accommodation in similar biome. Okay?
Yes.
That for the beginning. On 1891, there were the pier houses, okay, and wolves and hyena houses. That was
We
at the
still
start.
we still have these houses till today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but with renovation and
Right.
accommodation that came
You
Right.
said
later.
the pier houses, the
Hyena,
hyena,
The
hyena
wolves.
and wolves.
Yeah.
and
first.
wolves.
Mm.
Okay.
Okay.
These are animals.
It was well known that Khedive brought specialists in here in the zoo to run it in a way similar to that of London Zoo. It was recorded that Egypt had a zoo that time, which is really the crown of the jewel of the
jewel.
crown, because it was the unique one and the only one in Africa and Middle East.
So at that time, sorry, Mohammed, to interrupt
Go
you.
ahead,
I'm very
Mohammed,
sorry.
go ahead.
So at that time, this was the only zoo in the Middle East and in Africa.
It's recorded.
Wow.
It's recorded.
Very glad, Dr. Wafaa, that you are taking us through history. Continue, please. We stopped at 1891. We're really listening. We want to know the rest of the story, the rest of the milestones, the
Well,
timetable.
it passes through what is so-called the milestones
Mm.
or definite dates and made changes. Okay. On 1898 until 1925,
Mm.
the director was a scientist. He called Mr. Flowers. Mr. Flowers concerned with collecting samples, and he was the person behind the construction or establishment of zoological museum. He has, he had a collection of taxiderm for Egyptian mammals, and found here.
Dr. Wafaa, of course, thank you very much for your knowledgeable information. And could you please continue telling us about the development plans in the garden that's taking place and what stages of development from the past until now are taking place?
Okay, as we said, on 1891, when when the zoo was opened for public to visit, uh, there were plenty of animals from everywhere, as we said. Okay, with the success of directors on 1899 was Mr. Flowers, the director. He wasn't.
His name was Mr. Flowers.
His name is Mr. Flowers. He wasn't an ordinary person. He was a scientist. He loved the Egyptian bioma. He wanted to make a special collection for Egyptian mammals. Okay, this collection was about was, you can say, it's animals from everywhere, from desert, from Nile Valley, for the Egyptian mammals, and it was taxidermy in a special way. It was different from ordinary taxidermy and not mummified samples. Okay, it's present here in the zoological museum as scientific reference collection. From everywhere, people comes to see this, who are specialists, not ordinary people.
Yeah.
Okay, to take an idea and enrich their knowledge about this group, because it is specialized in taxonomy. You can find special reference for you for zoological collection or animal collection for that time.
So that
And
was
they,
a rich period for the zoo.
actually, the zoo is in rich period right now also.
Great. So, Dr. Wafaa, you took us until 1925, and it seems that was a rich period in the zoo. Please continue with the chronology. What happened when? Because this is very interesting to all of us.
As I told you, the beginning with bear house, okay, followed by hyena and wolves. Later, it was construction of elephant house. Followed,
When was that, Doctor?
it was about 1910.
Okay.
Okay. Later was on 1911 the big cat's house.
Lions
Okay.
and tigers?
Yeah. Followed by the water pool for hippopotamus. Okay. And by the way, it is connected with the Nile by pipes and controlled with
Wonderful.
sensors and something like that. Okay. It is periodically renovated because it is connected with different lagoons here in the zoo. Okay.
Tell us about the landmarks of the zoo, Dr. Wafaa.
Landmarks. We are sitting here in
One of the
the
oldest landmarks, I think.
yeah, in the shadow of one of them. This is the Castle Mountains. You can see how it's marvelous.
It is.
It's unique.
It is.
I don't think there is place in the world like this. Okay.
What's special about it, Dr. Wafaa?
um, because it's artificial. It is not natural.
What's artificial about it? The cave?
Artificial because it was made of stones and the cement, but the natural part of it is the white corals. The white corals,
So the white corals are all natural.
yeah,
These are the ones
and
behind us.
you can feel it.
Dr. Wafaa, what's your favorite animal in the zoo?
I like most of them.
Okay, so
Uh,
diplomatic answer.
But I am especially attracted to endangered species.
Okay,
And
This is your nature.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah,
the
I feel pity for them, and
Yeah.
I feel sorry for seeing them declining in nature, and so proud that we can keep any of them here.
So
in,
the
the
giraffe
zoo.
was definitely one of them when we lost that giraffe.
This year,
Mm.
there was a conference for the parties for the convention on
Preservation, yeah.
on trade in
Yeah.
endangered species of
Mhm.
fauna and flora with abbreviation CITES.
Mm.
Okay, that conference was held in Switzerland in Geneva,
Mhm.
and giraffe is declared to be included in the endangered species appendix 2.
Mm.
And each
Yeah.
appendix of the convention
Yeah.
lie under certain circumstances to deal with.
When is the golden age for the zoo, as far as you are concerned? Was it the 1980s, or is it today? Or I mean,
Nowadays,
Mm.
we restored our golden era.
Mm.
Okay, Giza Zoo restored its glory, its shining,
Mm.
for the efforts done. Here, they worked on 3 axes of work. First, for serving visitors. Second, for animal husbandry and management. Third, for how to enrich your collection of mammals, reptiles, and birds.
I still want to know what's your favorite animal, because you didn't. Ah, you said the endangered
endangered
species. Yeah.
elephants. Okay,
Yeah.
elephant is a unique animal.
How many elephants do we have here at the zoo?
It's only one.
Okay.
Dr. Wafaa Bawi, Capacity Building and Public Awareness Program staff member. It was a pleasure to have you with us in today's episode of Nile Cruise. Thank you
Thank
so
you
much
very
for
much,
You are
Dr.
joining.
most
Wafaa.
welcome. Thank
she
you.
is also a senior vet at the quarantine of the Cairo airport and a wildlife expert. Thank you very much, Dr. Wafaa. It's
You
been
are most
informative.
welcome.
Thank you.
You
Thank
are
Thank you
most
so
welcome.
much,
Thank you.
Dr. Wafaa. Dear viewers, stay with us. This was a segment of Nile Cruise. We'll be back again. Don't go away.